There we go. So, let's take a look at what's under here.
Yes.
Okay. So one question I had is there any way to automate every time we end an exam that I export JPEGs onto an external hard drive?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we could do that in here through our menu. And that saving options screen that we looked at.
Got it.
And then we can select to edit. And then we could do multimedia, so that's going to be your JPEGs to USB.
I see. Got
And
it.
then you just hit save. Do you want me to go ahead and save it?
You know what? Not yet.
Okay.
I'll just have to buy one that has a little cord down to there or
drop it
something.
down, you bet.
But yeah, that could be a useful thing. Okay, fantastic,
absolutely.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And cool. And I asked about the keyboard.
Yeah, I would definitely check with Glenn. He may need to check with like the IT people. I know for a while there were certain brands of mice that worked well, and other ones caused a bit of issue. But I have not run into a keyboard yet that we couldn't plug in.
Nice,
Yeah.
fantastic, fantastic. And then there was question on sending images. So when we send to VetRocket, is there a way just to send like one or two images, like a selection of images,
No,
versus send the whole study?
Right. So if you're sending DICOM, which is what you'd be sending for interpretation, that's going to be full study. If you're in a study and say you just want to, let's just say this last study we did here for Happy, say you just want to give the one picture to the client or something like that. In that situation, you could do JPEGs that way. I could just go ahead and select this one picture and select export from within the exam review. So I'm still in exam review here.
I see.
So I've got this one picture, or again, multiple with the action, and I could touch export. And then that's only, okay, now they've got that option in here now for DICOM. So I take that back. Yes, you can.
That is sick.
Okay, so yes. So we could have done just the one USB, but yes, it looks like we can go ahead at that point in time. So let's go back to archive, find a study with like multiple pictures. Okay.
Yeah.
So open. So yeah, if we want to do just say those, export, and yeah, DICOM. So then you could go ahead.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's great, because a lot of times it's like there's this one like loop that I want to like, is this something I need to worry about? I don't care about all the other crap,
right,
so
exactly.
save some time for him.
Ultrasound is $14.
That's fine for a cysto, like
Oh, that's
or-
okay.
it was just a bladder, and I'm
Okay.
still learning how to use it. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that is they have changed that. That was not in there even a release ago that I had seen. So yeah, that was one way we were doing just like multimedia. So like if you just wanted to give like one or two pictures or something to a client for them to be able to look at.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, I'm delighted. Okay, I'll ask about that. Most efficient workflow for the FAST exams. What do you find to be your most efficient workflow for kind of doing a FAST full ultrasound?
As far as for selecting the preset,
or like when you're going through it, you're labeling it as you do it, or do you like to label it afterwards?
honestly, the quickest as far as workflow is to do it as you're going along, unless the patient's not cooperative. And if that's the case, and you know you've got a small window of time, just go through and get them. Because as we're doing the scan, it's going to default to your custom annotation library, and so that saves the time of having to select your library,
CRPC.
select the word, and then hit OK, and then going back to those sorts of things. So. Yeah.
So when you're doing it during real time, it doesn't require you to hit OK or anything. It's literally just pulls up the list and you click it once.
Right,
and
exactly. So
okay.
let's just launch a scan here real quick. So if I'm doing a scan here, I hit freeze, I hit ABC annotate. I'm going to say this is a pleural effusion. I'm going to clip my image. I go right back to my live scan. I get my next picture. I freeze it, annotation. This is the spleen. clip the image. That's as
Wow,
quick
that
as
is
I
really
can go
fast. That is really fast.
Yeah.
Dang.
So let's go through that one.
And can this be done on a PC if it's not done here?
The
Like, yeah, can you
annotations?
do it on
Yes,
the
with
on
the
that thing?
MyLab desk you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly the same. Now we would need to load in your custom annotation library onto that.
Ah, got it. That's a good point because we
So
don't
we'll
have
need
it.
to put
Okay.
that onto your MyLab desk. as
Okay.
well.
Fantastic. All right, and then
Grab
do
that
you?
flash drive when we're done with that. Go ahead.
And then there were two technique things I was wondering about. I read about I don't know if it was JAVMA or some other journal where they showed that it's actually a really good way to tell volemic status on a patient is to measure the CVC versus the aorta diameter and the changes on stuff. Do you know how to do that?
Not exactly.
Okay, I was just wondering if you could teach me.
I was gonna say, I mean, you can go in and find normals for measurement values based
Okay.
upon weight for your dogs. And that's all gonna change there, but I don't know if they have any correlating factor that they use in there, or just a direct percentage differentiation. The key to that is obviously, regardless of what method that you're doing in acquiring your images, ensuring that you have that fully distended. Your aorta is a little bit easier to make sure that you've got your full wide open. Your clavine cava, very slight pressure can collapse it somewhat. So you always need to make sure clavine
interesting.
cava you're letting up somewhat. You've got a nice clear image, let up on it to be able to make sure you've got it as open as possible.
Got it. I'll have to read the study to see because I couldn't figure out the exact like technical. Is there a standard position that you put the probe in and
I
that
was
kind
going
of
to say,
stuff?
yeah, and again, I don't know exactly how, if they're going about it in a transverse, longitudinal. I don't know also for sure if there's a specific location
Okay.
that they're wanting to take that measurement at. That could be a variable as well. I've heard somewhat about this, but exactly where I don't know that they're suggesting that's being taken.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And then T-FAST, so like thoracic fast scans. I feel very comfortable identifying pericardial effusion, pleural effusion, and then after that it gets a little hazier. I mean, I've gotten, I think, pretty good at identifying pneumothorax and like obvious B lines with like pulmonary edema, but the heart is the tricky bit. So looking at aortic, left atrial ratios. So is this something you're comfortable doing? You know how to do those?
I was gonna say, as far as for obtaining the images, yes. I typically have only been doing complete full cardiac exams or complete full abdominal exams.
Got it.
I know
Okay.
there's a lot of push for the fast scans,
Yep.
just in general practice. I know that. As far as exactly
How to do that?
through it,
It's yeah. I'm just gonna have to go to Dallas. I know they have the training there.
that training down there in Dallas, is it the
Yeah.
Waves training
Yeah.
you're talking about? It's wonderful. It is
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful. And we don't really have affiliation with them, but they use our equipment there.
They do.
Yes.
It's sound. It's the Sound University or whatever.
Okay, not the Sound University.
Oh, really?
This is different.
Oh.
I wasn't sure. I didn't know that Sound was doing them in Dallas. I assumed it was Waves when you said Dallas.
Oh.
Yes. Actually, the person who started doing the training used to head up, as I understand anyway, I'm not 100% sure on the details. She used to head up the training division for Sound years ago. And now she's kind of broken off to where they're doing, and we are veterinary education. They don't have any correlation with any specific equipment or anything like that, but they're getting top names in there for trainings. So
Great.
I would
Good to know.
I
Good
would
to know.
check into that one too.
I only
You
knew
said
about the
Dallas.
Sound University because
Okay.
it's like they have regular courses, and I took the it was cervical and musculoskeletal, and it was great. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And I went to the other ones too, but I didn't know about Waves, so I'll look into
I was
that.
gonna say, and they have different levels of the training, also very similar to what Sound did. But they've got your basic abdominal, advanced abdominal, basic cardiac, advanced cardiac. And they're typically, I want to say 3 days, like 3.5 days. And it's literally just right off site from the airport. You don't even do a vehicle. They have shuttle to the hotel. They have a shuttle to take you to the training facility where they've got a great wet lab area. It's a very very
Wonderful.
well planned out, and they get shelter pets that they're scanning, and everybody's sedated and they're monitored. They've got nursing staff there for monitoring while they're doing the scans. So I was really impressed. I went to go help them with setups. Initially, they didn't really know our equipment, so I was going in kind of working with them as well, trying to do a high-level overview of everything and the calculation packages and this and that with all of them. So it was really fun. But yeah, they've had great courses from what I understand too. So when you said Dallas, I just assumed. So
Great to know they have that.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Cool. So I'll go and do that, and I think that is good. I was great. I'm thrilled. When I tried to use the computer, it showed how much of the hard drive was full, and I was like, "Oh God, are we doing something wrong already filling it up?" But no, it looks like a gig is just that's the normal. Okay, cool. All right, I think that's all I have questions. So
Yeah, let's
should we
get the
move?
presets on also, depending on where you're at with your different studies. We'll go ahead and get your annotations put in on your MyLab Desk software also.
Okay.
That way we've got those in there.
Sweet.
I forgot about that. Since you are utilizing it, we want to make sure we've got your annotation library. And it's really straightforward. If you do end up making any additional changes to your annotation library, I'll show you. You can take it from the machine, and I'm actually going to do that as well.
Yeah, and we are going to be upgrading that computer very soon, and so do you know how I'd be able to transfer that program on something? Because actually the server and I think the virtual hard drive where we're sending it to is on our actual server in the closet. That's staying the same.
Okay.
But this workstation is going to be, I'm upgrading it.
So
and all
did
that.
he put the actual program on there? Or is it on the server computer?
That I'm not sure of. I'd have to look at his video.
If it's on, it's okay. I was going to say, if it is on your server, you won't need to do anything. If you
Sweet.
are needing to get the program onto a new computer, just through the archive, any patient study, I mean, it really makes no difference whatsoever. We've got this fake one I just did. We could hit export, and then we can come in here and say export desk setup, and hit OK.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to put it onto a flash drive. Plug it into your new computer.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, plug in your new computer, and then away you go. With the MyLab Desk 3, I think that there is, I want to say there's license codes that you enter in on here, but we can check and see what they are on here now, and then that way you'd have the information to put it in if it is in fact on this specific computer.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's basically a little wizard, and you can put it on however many computers. It's just with the functionality of the MyLab Desk 3, giving the ability to go ahead and export and push to radiology and things like that. They have licenses per system, basically.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But that is very straightforward. One thing I was going to show you also, I've got the camera there handy too. We didn't go through the import-export. I've already done this once. I get core gets cold, so I like to have a little vest and things to keep warm. But it's also handy for pockets for all of my little flash drives. Clint had, there we go. You have a drive too. We'll do this on yours. I've already done this once. This is how you back up your presets and settings on this machine. This flash drive, there's nothing special about it. It just says Esaote, so you'll know what's on it. But this is the way it's going to look from here on out because I've already done it once. So import, export, plug in your flash drive. At the top we have export. Import would be if you're reloading your settings onto this machine. You would probably be on the phone with them walking through that process, so you don't need to worry too much about that. But under export we have a clinical tab. We check the box for that. It'll check everything. Same thing here for your system settings. Check the box there. And then we're going to go ahead and select export. And it's going to go ahead and write everything to it. Again, I've already done this once. So in order to have the most up-to-date version of everything, we'll just select all, just like if you're changing a file on any computer for the most up-to-date, overwriting it basically. So we'll go ahead and write that. And we'll take that over to your computer. I'm going to do this on yours also. Also at the end of the day today, I will upload these presets. We have kind of a data bank of them, so we'll have your presets up to today. If anything would ever happen to this version of it, And then you would just want to back it up again if you make any changes to the system. So annotation libraries, DICOM servers, things like that. Basically anything but patients, it will save. And this one does tell you it's successful. So we'll say okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get yours written on too for one. And version on here. And if we make any more changes, we'll just make sure we do it again. And I did also get those error logs. Whether or not it'll show anything, I have no idea, but I will go ahead and upload that to our engineering team and the picture of what we got error-wise. Let them take a look and make sure it's nothing crazy. So operation success. That was the first time I wrote to that drive, so it didn't have anything on there to overwrite.
Okay, got it.
And we'll keep this handy in case.
So that was just a blank one until now?
Yep, until now it was completely blank.
Now it has
This
all our
one I'll
presets.
upload. Yep. We'll just set him back down here for a little while in case we need to do more. And now that I've got your library on here, we'll put that onto that computer.
Sweet. All right, should I enter the software?
Yeah.
Okay. Take it a while, and that's part of what we're doing. We're doubling the RAM and adding a solid state drive. So.
It's all good. I think everybody's always in process of trying to get greater and greater improvements. It just takes time, unfortunately.
Definitely. You mentioned the order of the sizes. Like, how do you switch that around?
I'll show you that too. Yes,
Sweet.
exactly. It's very easy. Very, very easy.
Cool. Cool.
It's just an arrow up, down on your keyboard once you're in there.